Hello everyone! So, an update in Helldivers just dropped, and with the update, nerfs and drops came with it. And let's say that, at least on my chat, I heard quite a few questions about the buff and the nerf. A lot of people not understanding what was happening or why or what, and having a feeling that there weren't balance or fun or a lot of other descriptions that weren't right. So let me explain to you, with the help of the Helldivers newsletter, what and why changed. It's pretty much very great of them to do such a good job of talking with the community, because I had feeling about why they made those changes. But it is in fact now confirmed via their patch note to have been what I thought about. So let's go and let's see it bit by bit. So to start with, the primary weapons. I'm going to summarize. Basically, a lot of people, it feels very strange to me, but a lot of people complained in the fact that the primary weapon weren't feeling as great as they should feel in Helldivers 2. And I must say, I'm a bit surprised, because a primary weapon in Helldivers is supposed to be just what you use to deal with the light infantry of the enemy. Maybe the heavy if you pick one that is specialized, but never above that. So I think that it's good that they make a little patch to make people remember that your primary weapon is just your primary weapon. It's supposed to be not a thing you use all the time. In fact, you're supposed to make a good combo between your primary, your secondary, and your bonus weapon. That's how you play the game. Regarding the nerfs, they commented over the fact that they heard a lot about people that wanted to don't have any nerfs in the game and only have buff and things like this, which I can understand why they have such discourse to never nerf something. It's a discourse that I can have sometime. I don't think that in a PvE game it's possible, and I think that's what they're aiming for, and basically that's what they confirm. They want every weapon to feel as it should feel, to both give diversity of choice to the people without having a weapon that is all above the other. They basically aim to have the right weapon for the right situation, for the right feeling. So the first nerf has been for the Breaker. If you don't know, the Breaker is the automatic shotgun. It's a weapon that is beloved both by the new people and by the veteran, because it was already a very good weapon in Helldivers 1, but it's also a weapon that started to be seen as the meta weapon of the game, the best primary weapon you could use. And it was a problem, because it's not supposed to be that. What it's supposed to be is to be a very good weapon to clear enemies that are close. So basically it's like an anti-crouch shotgun, nothing else. So that's why they decided to make the DPS of the weapon a bit lower by simply making it have 3 less runes. It will still feel good to play it, but the objective of what they wanted with its weapon, which was basically to be careful about your munition, will be enforced by that. Because you will need to actually control your fire if you want to not lose every of your munition quickly, or you can just go crazy, just like with basically the SMG, and just like and you're out of anything. The Punisher is a version that is normally supposed to pack more punch, but in exchange you have a lower roulette and having basically an harder time if you waste your munition. In order to make it feel better and to basically stick more to this image, they noticed that there was both a bug and also a problem with the weapon itself. The bug was the fact that only half of the amount of ammo you should pick up when you get a crate was picked up when you were doing that. So they corrected this bug, and the other part is that overall the weapon felt too weak for what they wanted. They wanted a very big packing shotgun, the kind of, action puppet shotgun that you use to breach door and send people flying, stuff like this. So they augmented the number of pellets, they augmented the stagger, and they augmented a bit the amount of ammunition. With the correction of the bugs, they basically are hoping that it's going to allow to feel very much like you're shooting someone and making them hesitate. It particularly against the hunter that felt a bit too weak. Now they hope that when you shoot them, the hunter is basically going to stagger and not jump on you. The Breaker Spray and Pray, which is a variant of the Breaker, was supposed to be basically a harder version of the Breaker, able to have a bigger DPS, but even more risk to basically run out of ammunition very quickly. They wanted to reinforce that, so they added a quicker rate of fire. They added also more pellets per shot, but they basically limited even more the amount of ammunition. So if you like the Breaker for its rate of fire, I totally advise to go over the Breaker Spray and Pray, because it's going to be what you want. But in the other case, if you prefer to not run out of ammunition very quick, you can stick with this Breaker from the start. It's just not going to be as... They just try to not make it the most peak of out all the primary weapons. They want more diversity, basically. The ray gun. I know a lot of people were unhappy about the change of the ray gun, but the very important thing about Helldivers 2 is that they want a team that is diverse. They want one person with anti-tank, they want one person with the SMG, they want one person with something else. They don't want to see what we saw right now at high level, which was basically 4 Helldivers coming in, all ray gun, all breaker, especially against automaton, and just never using even the risky mode of the ray gun and just shooting and destroying everything. It's not interesting for them, and I do agree with them. I don't find that interesting. I prefer that everyone can play what they want and nobody can basically be like, okay, you're not sticking to the meta, you need to go out. Or even, I prefer to not land into a team and see that the 3 other players are all running the same build. That's kind of boring. So now what happened is that the ray gun is never going to be able to penetrate anything above medium if you keep it in safe mode. Medium is the scout automaton, the bipeded leg Star Wars thingy automaton, basically. That's the max it can penetrate in safe mode. In unsafe mode, it can penetrate higher, but it will not deal damage to massive body enemy. What it means is that you need to hit the target weak point of the enemy, be it through armor or not, in order to make damages. So basically, if you want to hit a build titan, you can hit by under, where there is a barrel sack. You can hit the head, where there is basically the weak point, but it's armored. And for the tank, you can hit through any part of the tank, but you need to hit the radiator at the back of the tank. So it's basically becoming what it should have been, a sniper. Especially since it's a weapon that doesn't require a backpack, so that's kinda broken. It was really broken. Now it's very much what it should be. You need to both take a risk to explode with the weapon, and you need also to be very precise with your aiming and to land the shot perfectly on the weak point of the enemy through the body of the enemy or not. The flamethrower, it's a direct buff. Basically, they like how it is working for now, how it spread fire, etc., but they felt like it was not doing enough damage to enemies that were going towards you, especially if they were fast. And I do agree with that. I play flamethrower a lot because I'm a bit of a maniac, but I enjoy I just enjoy flamethrower in general, and when I was attacked by any kind of enemies, but mostly bugs, I felt like if I wasn't going back, and if I didn't add basically a jetpack to jump away from the crow after burning them a bit for waiting for the damage to put down, etc., I wasn't going to do a lot of damage at all, not enough at least to keep myself safe. However, I do have one worry. The flamethrower was already very good at dealing with chargers due to the fact that no matter where you're burning the enemies, you were doing damage. So no, I wonder if it's not going to be very, very good at barbecuing basically the charger. But we will see that. The laser cannon. So, big surprise over the laser cannon, they wanted it actually to be a light machine gun. Not at all something against heavy armored enemy. To me, and to Blue, it's a bit of a surprise. We weren't expecting this weapon to be basically a light machine gun. I'm not sure anyone else knew that was the role it was supposed to have, because you basically, it looks like a bazooka, you wear it on your shoulder like a bazooka. It was a bit hard to guess that it was basically the energetic light machine gun. They decided to change and to rather go with the feeling of the community and the feelings we had by so, meaning that it's going to change from anti-light infantry to anti-AV, with a lot of added damage against large body, meaning that shooting basically on the weak point of the enemies or even on the heavy armored part of the enemy, because there is also more armor penetration, should allow you to basically deal damage to charger, to tank, stuff like this. I don't know how much they add of those quantities. We will see. It's big in the vague for now. We don't know exactly, but it could become actually a very viable weapon, which would be great because nobody was playing it. The shield backpack, it was good, but it was too quick to reload, according to them. And I do agree with them. Basically, when in a video game, each time you win a bar of life that you can reload by getting out of the action, it's a double-edged sword. Why? Because in one side, it means that you don't have to worry about healing yourself and that kind of stuff that can be a bit repetitive, you know? But on the other hand, it means that every time you will have a big part of the action happening, you will by yourself take yourself out of the action in order to basically regenerate. And as much as it can be good to have a little breather, in most of those cases it can become very boring to be like, okay, I get out of my cover, I do 2 seconds of fighting, I get in cover, I wait 5 seconds. I remember that Halo games were very great, but if there was one thing that was that nice about them, it was that when the action was very, very intense, you were basically just staying in cover and spending most of your time waiting for your shield to reload. It was something that was challenging, notably for the development of Doom, and that's why Doom chose to not have any life that was regenerating, and rather have you gain back your life by getting closer to the action. They took the problem, basically they reversed it. In Doom, in order to get your life back, you need to get closer to the enemy and either use the chainsaw or basically go kill them, and it's very fun. The two barrages, the 120 and the 380, they felt like they weren't that great for now because they were too short, so they basically added more time and more ammo to them. And I think it's great because I tried to use those, and they are very dangerous for your team, that's one. And two, they are not that good because they don't stay that long, plus not such a great accuracy, making them very bad at dealing what they should deal. The only thing you can end up doing with them is basically throwing at a base, going to deal with another base and going back to the first base, but even then it wasn't that great. Now they very much want to create more longer area of denial weapons, and I think it can be fun. I can't wait to see what it's going to give. And that's all for the patch note of this time. I can't wait to see what they're going to implement in basically 1 week normally. As I said, normally it's a Tuesday of the second week of each month that they're going to add more stuff to the game. But I do agree with them on the fact that the weapons they nerfed and changed are the weapons that myself I felt either were a bit weak inside the game or were used by the community. Especially the breaker. I saw it so many times and I saw it everywhere and it was good. I can't say the contrary, but it was good against everything to the point where it was a bit boring. If you want to see by yourself the patch note of Arrowhead, I'm going to put the link directly inside the description, and I thank you for staying with me. Don't hesitate to follow, don't hesitate to leave a like, and you can also watch me on Twitch if you want. Thank you a lot for staying with us and see you next time. Bye bye everyone. Take care.